It'll be fun.
Well, I mean,
let's try it. Hold on. I'm gonna mute myself.
I think it's gone on long enough, DJ.
All right, that was fun.
What? Also,
did you have fun with that?
Link tweeted. I thought it went on for a little bit too long.
I just retweeted
to the point
it
where it got awkward. But
yeah.
But you know.
No, it did. I'm sure it did. It was. I was retweeting that, and I was trying to pull up the stuff. I got to go back.
Yeah, no, I meant, did you have the actual YouTube link instead of the Twitter thing? I don't know how to get things anymore.
I tweeted it.
You did? Twitter. What the fuck? Oh, yours. Okay. I'm so bad at this. Yeah. I don't get how anyone does this. So do you have
a lot of skill and no doing that now?
Jesus. Oh fuck. Okay. Cool.
This is called being prepared, Matt. Okay.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, good thing we could wait
have the randomizer
25 minutes. We could wait 25 minutes and no one would join while people join. So, who cares?
Oh, everyone's joining in. I had people tell me they were joining. I just got to get to the actual form. I'm realizing I'm on the...
In StreamYard, can you see how many people are watching? Because I can't, so I just assume it's 0.
It's 5 on YouTube, and it doesn't show you how many are watching on Twitter. You have to go to Twitter to see that, because they're completely separate. When you do it, it doesn't go the same. I just got to find the right randomizer wheel.
Yeah.
I think it's this one. I think it's Wheel of Names. That looks...
Yeah. That's the one we looked at when you were talking about it earlier this week.
Right. Okay.
What's up, Steven? Welcome.
Everyone, welcome. I got to go into the actual form. I'm in there we go. Responses. We have 74. It's pretty good. I can get the sheets. This was the one thing I meant to do as we were starting, and it wasn't. Okay, there we go. Doesn't matter. And then there's a couple names in here that if we draw, we're redrawing, because I had a couple friends too that were like, "Hey, I did it just to help," and I was like, "Why did you think that would like?"
Yeah, I'm in it. So either get rid of me or
Oh, you're in it too. But that was just to test it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah. I guess I could do that. I could just get rid of you.
So help me God, if I hear anyone on this show complain about Troy Terry after 17 weeks of Run Pure, I may lose my goddamn mind. We know the NHL's.
It's.
But holy hell! My God, how much money do you need before you stop saying the world's against you? I'm over here playing DFS.
No, my thing about that
every night, and you guys lose one pick'em. I'm not going to complain. It's the world's going to end.
I'm not mad about losing the pick'em slip as much as I just want transparency on how this actually works, because it's just when are we going to get an answer on this is actually the way that we're doing this whole thing? You know what I mean? How are they tracking this shit? And how is it not fixed? That's what I care about. I just want this problem not to happen again. All right, I'm going to get rid of Evan too, my buddy. Sorry, Evan. I'm sure you're not watching anyways.
There's just some random dude named Evan out there who's like, what the hell?
No, it's Evan. I know my friend entered it, 2 of them, and I'm going to look for oh, there he is. Okay. He literally told me, he's like, don't pick me. I'm like, it's a randomizer wheel. I don't I'm not picking this person. I'm clicking a button on a wheel, and I'm he's like, oh, okay, just delete it. I'm like, oh my God, buddy. Yeah. No, okay, yeah. I mean, the Troy Terry rant is just the last thing I'm going to say. Again, I did send this along to a couple people that maybe will hopefully give us more information, and if it does, I'll let everyone know. But yeah, we've run pure as hell. Let's not cry over spilt milk at this point. We're not getting our money, even if they change it. So, I just would like the NHL to give us how they're tracking this. So in the future, maybe they make a change. And if we complain to the sports books, nothing's going to happen. They don't care. DraftKings Sportsbook does not care about any sports book betting at all. That's not how they're going to make their money, let alone hockey, where they legitimately do not care. So if you think, first off, if anyone tells me like it's rigged against you, man, it's not. Like they don't care about any of our bets at all. So just let's try to get the NHL to focus on this. And the only way to do that is to get to people that actually have some intel or connection in the NHL and actually tell them like, this is what's happening. People are not watching your sport anymore. What's going on? Anything, Matt? Or are you moving on?
I would just move on. I mean, we know the NHL does not, they don't put any sort of emphasis on data consistency in their tracking. And until they centralize it, it's, we've seen study again show that there's, home rink biases and things like that, which, you can work in, but on the, in the in the micro environment, you're going to run into things where guys get 2 shots on goal where it clearly looks like they should have 3 shots. And that's just what happens without like a central body reviewing these things. So it's, it's unfortunate because, shots are, I think, the most beatable prop in hockey, but it's, it's also the one that the NHL cares least about, which maybe there's some relationship there. So, I guess just hope it goes your way in the future. Because I'm sure it will.
And yes, this has got to be the moods that's in all your Zamboni drafts. I think they will fix it, and I think they know. The last thing is like they know that they have the answers, and they're just not doing them. And I don't think it's the NHL. Like the players don't want this player tracking puck stuff in the pucks. Like it's supposed to be in the puck, and the players were like, "We don't like this," and they're like, "Okay, fine, we'll just try again later." That's not going to cut it anymore, especially now that they did they literally had a game that was live action animated from what's happening, and it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. But let's move on. Let's spin the wheel. It's actually funny. After I moved Matt, any duplicates, and my couple friends, we have 69 entries now. And really, there is just nothing better. So I'm going to shuffle it. Like what? Tell me when to stop shuffling.
69 times. How about that?
Okay. 1, I'm going to stop shuffling 4, there.
6, 9. Okay.
And press Control Enter. Let's shuffle
How about
it again.
You just click to spin it?
Great. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so let's find our winner. It's going to be Rooney. We have our winner. Are you listening? Are you in here? Is there anyone?
Is there anybody in here? I don't know. What's up, Mike?
Mike's in here. We have 11 people just in here. I'm going to give it like 10 seconds. I'm giving it to the person if they're watching or not. I don't really like the odds. Me forcing someone to watch the stream on Saturday at 12:30 is against my religion. So
he was literally the first comment in here too. No, what? Steven Rooney,
he was in here.
The first.
Oh, you are in here.
The first comment. That's awesome. That's
all right.
Not rigged at all.
That's really funny, actually. No, I clicked shuffle like 24 times. It was actually like it's funny. I was like looking at the names and I'm like, I know a lot of these people. So
sure.
Cool. All right. Awesome. Yeah. Let's I'll DM you when we finish this up, and I will get you the $200, and hopefully you go to a hockey game. But again, like I said, it's like can't make you. And I know some people were like, "Hey, I live in Vancouver and it's like $1 million." I'm like, I live in Toronto. I'm like, right. Like, but if you go to Anaheim for fun, it's $4. So you could buy.
Hold on. Have you heard of the OHL? That's a fun,
go to any game.
Like hell, like those. I mean, I would say those are even more fun, just from like an environment. They're like a college game from like an environment and everything else standpoint. So yeah. At least it was not Matt. That guy does not need another win here. So anyone but him, and we're good. Let's see. We have 14 minutes till the 1:00 slate starts. Colorado, Detroit, the only game.
Oh yeah, right.
DJ, I don't know if. Did you put anything together for the early slate?
And it's already.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just run through the games very, very, very briefly. I was going to pull up the DFS slate. It's full. I mean, it's just done. So there's no sense in that. We have one game at 1 o'clock. I didn't have a ton here. Pulling this back up again, it's like this game does not grade well at all, other than maybe a Colorado shot prop. They've been very, very tough because all of the players that you want to bet are priced, in my opinion, outside of consideration. So we'll just pull up really quickly these. I mean, you just can't, I just feel like you can't bet Cale Makar at this price. Like, he's shooting enough to maybe feel like it's in the ballpark, but not enough for me to feel good. Erod up on the top line. I think we probably by now have that. Look, Peter. Let's just see if he tweeted anything. I mean, I think the only bet that I'm going to look at, he normally has the lines. Okay. Nope. All right, whatever. Who cares? I'll check in a minute. Nothing here screams. It's like if you bet McKinnon over 4.5 minus 140, I think you have rocks in your head. It's like it's just not a 50-50 bet anymore. Matt, anything? It's a bad game, bad environment. It's a bad environment if Detroit plays like they used to.
I would say, do we have anything on underdog? Because if we have Husso plus some Colorado shot props, I think that's actually one of my favorites of of the day. Because I'm not in a state where I can play underdog, but when I do, go to Florida or New York or whatever, I like to take goalies and then just usually 4 guys against that goalie. It's pretty straightforward what I do. I'm not sitting here trying to build actual multi-leg parlays like DJ usually does. But Colorado's the perfect team too, where if you get Makar, McKinnon, Rantanen, and Husso over, there you go. That's an awesome slip, I think. So I don't know if you have underdog.
Are you including McKinnon at 5 though?
Is he at 5?
I have it on my phone. He's at 5. So okay. Rantanen 3, Makar 3, Erod 2.5, and Valerie 2.5. So yeah, let me check the lines really quick. I don't mind making one of these, tweeting it out real quick. I mean, I agree that if Detroit keeps it, I wouldn't even say close. If Detroit's winning in this game, this is the same thing that happened last time. We had a stream on a Saturday. I was like, Detroit is going to give up shots if Boston doesn't get up early. And Detroit went up 3-0 on them, and it all got there. It is top line Pius Suter. Francois is a scratch, so Frankie's back. Georgiev's in net. Just no lines out of Colorado right now still.
Yeah, I would say the 3 men I like there is Rantanen, Makar, and Husso. McKinnon's okay, but I don't think he's 2 shots clear of those guys. Over the last 10, he's only 2 shot attempts clear of those guys over the last 10.
Run the three, Makar.
And if you have something from another sport or another game that you like, clearly I don't mind that. That's typically not what I do, but again, I have very limited underdog exposure and experience in the pick'em streets since I'm in PA.
Then we can move on to the other games. So
also Chason remains on the top power play for Detroit. That's I think that's pretty useful. But not really anything for betting perspective. He's just a guy that can get you a goal at minimum salary on the DFS slate, or maybe power play points. I don't know if that's up or not.
Okay. Yeah. I tweeted it out. So if you're on Twitter, just go there. You can grab it and do it rather than me showing you. Or you could have done it while you were talking. I agree. So the only last thing, and then we'll move on. I'll just pull up the raw numbers over the last 10 and 5. I know Colorado's been a little bit weird. I don't think there's anyone on Detroit that I'm putting it they already project very poorly on top of the in the game script you're building here. You're building Colorado is dominating play and possession. So if you're building that kind of a game script, what's the point? This is not last night. Last night, the thing that should have hit that we're all talking about was Columbus and Anaheim, and that one looked like both teams were just going to suck defensively. This game, it looks like Colorado's going to dominate defensively. And if we're building that way, that's the game script. So I don't think you bring it back. And you may argue, well, McKinnon says 8 attempts per game over the last 10. So you need 5 of those just to push, So I just feel like you're adding an unreal amount of variance when the other 2, I think, are just, they're more the 50-50 kind of nature of the other 2. It just feels better. Makar has definitely come back into form. I think even more so now if you pull up the 5. It's about the same. So yeah, I understand if you want to throw in a guy on the other side, but like I said, I don't think I'm doing it myself. If I was going to, it would, I don't even know, honestly. I'm just not gonna. We can move on to the next game. Unless if there's any last popular betting. I mean, I would take Colorado at minus 180 myself, but I don't think it's necessary. I think you're kind of what's the point? Any thoughts on that?
I'm good here.
You don't, yeah. So let's move on to the Boston Minnesota game. And I know he mentioned like he's in Central Mass. So first off, I mean, hockey's championships tonight. So if you want to head on down, that's what I would go to myself. I got in the Bruins game for under $200 myself. Like we paid I think 115. We waited it out for a while on a Thursday night. So yeah, not the best, but you have options. And you can even say, you know what, go into a playoff game. Who cares? And just take $200 and put it on the beer. We'll get to the Bruins game. They're not big, but big enough favorites, I guess, against Minnesota. We pull this up. Minnesota doesn't actually look too bad per the last 10, and that does include some Kaprizov, etc. So it's tough. Kaprizov is not going to be back. We can confirm at that pace. I don't know. I don't love this game. I don't really feel like I'm betting it. I think I do really think people are going to pull up and go on to plus 135 in the betting community because, at home, I think people will talk themselves into it, but I don't know if it's necessary. Matt, any thoughts on the game initially from a macro standpoint?
I mean, I think I like the Wild. Just Boston has not been very great. It's not the they're not a team that you love to target, but just I don't know. Minnesota's just been really solid, and without Kaprizov, they somehow managed to have multiple players step up in his absence. It's like this team was truly just dominated by Kaprizov when he was in the lineup. And then since he exited, I mean, we have Boldy putting up, let's see, expected fantasy points per game. Boldy's up over those 3 games. Hartman's way up. Eriksson Ek is up versus, the games before that. And it's just, everyone who is sort of a secondary piece to Kaprizov is actually doing sort of what every coach says that the team needs to do. And usually the team just falls flat on its face because, they stand around and wait for the good guy to do stuff. But in this case, they've actually sort of, taken it upon themselves to up their games. So I think that Minnesota at plus money is pretty solid. Gustafson's definitely the goalie you want to go in net, and he is. So yeah, that's I guess that's my I guess I'm pro at Minnesota here.
Yeah. And just pulling up the last 3 games because Kaprizov's been out for the past 3. Klingberg's been shooting a ton. He's gotten a massive role on this team since being traded over from Anaheim. Hartman shooting more than Eriksson Ek, and it feels like every shot Eriksson Ek takes gets on net as he does lead them in actual raw shots. He is more of an in-tight player, though, so it makes sense. Most of the shots aren't coming from –
he shoots from inside.
Take it away.
So
Right. So it does add up, but yeah. So if you're looking at props, which let's go to goalies first, Vegas projecting both teams around the 28 mark. So I don't think it's, and I don't think this game is going to pace out at an absolute dud. So I think you can look at shot props and feel okay. I don't mind going Eriksson Ek over 2.5. Hartman, I mean, they're about the same, 20 points difference. Do you have a preference on those two or not? Anything that you're gonna...
Honestly, I kind of prefer Hartman. I don't know. I think I prefer Hartman. Zuccarello, I think, is... Yeah, I know. Zuccarello is just a more reliable passer, I think. And playing with Sammy Walker, he's not going to do much shooting if his AHL numbers, speak to it. So I think Hartman's just in a good position to continue to, beat his odds there.
Yeah, let's take a peek. Actually, he probably is 2.5. Yeah, he's 2.5 on the underdog too. So I'll add that into my mix. And I think this is what happens: is I find 3 or 4 guys I really like, and then I'm like, well, I got to get a goalie. I got to get some correlation. So if you have 5, 6, 7 minutes here, if you want to try to throw this in with that beginning slip that we posted. So all of that being said, I don't know if there's anything on Boston that I'm overly to the moon about. I feel like with Boston, it really does feel like you're kind of playing a bit of Russian roulette these days. Like Pasternak's going to take a ton of shots. We know that for a fact. His price is McKinnon. It's maybe even worse than McKinnon. Let's take a peek, actually. And it's plus money over 4.5, so it's not quite as bad. And he's shooting probably about the same. So, like, if you gun to head, I think I take Pasternak over McKinnon in the vacuum. But man, it's really tough to find a guy that is priced correctly on Boston that I feel comfortable about. Like Bergeron, he's hit here or there, like 14 shots on net, and he has 3.6 attempts over that. Like it's like he's getting the shots to the net, but man, I don't really want to add that to my slip. I don't really think it's worth straight betting either. So I'm probably out on any of these. I normally just default to a DeBrusque point or a Bergeron point, which are both almost even money. But again, I do trust Gustafsson. I don't think this game's going to have a crazy amount of goals. You could probably talk me into the under. Is it 6.5? It's 5.5. Holy crap. Okay. You know what? Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's just keep Hartman in the slip. I don't think we need to spend a million years. We can move on to a game that I think is much more exciting. I'm more interested in getting to in Winnipeg and Nashville. Anything off the top? I'll pass it to you first. Just want to close a couple tabs.
Yeah, we're kind of waiting for Pierre-Luc Dubois news, and I think that's the main piece of news in this game, really, that I care about. And so for that reason, I don't really have an opinion on what's going to happen. Just I guess full disclosure, I'm sitting here looking at my 1:00 DFS slate and sitting here with Dubois, Connor, but I don't know if that actually is going to be if that's going to be a pairing, if Dubois is even going to play. So, I like Kyle Connor, but I don't know if, I have not looked at his betting lines, to be honest. I just know in DFS, he's sub 7K, which never happens. So seems like a really good spot for him against Nashville.
This game is at what? 2:00, 3:00?
It's at 2:00. Yeah.
Okay. I guarantee Puck Luck's going to say that Winnipeg minus 117. No, wow, it's actually not on Winnipeg. That's interesting. Honestly, it's really high on it. It's really high on both teams, like normally. But yeah, Winnipeg, I think, will see a lot of shots, which is what this is. Let me zoom in a little bit here. People viewing at home. Ooh. Yeah, Winnipeg. This. What?
Are we gonna ban this guy from the chat? Sort of like under 3 L's. Sir, this is an overs only chat. I don't know if you've seen DJ Slips before, but he never picks an under.
I tried early in the season. I feel like it was before I had as many people following, before kind of the Badge Bros kicked in as well. And I was posting unders and people were just like, you can't hit it under. And I'm like, I really think I'm cursed on unders anyways, but I should be doing more because I just need to do the other side of my process. I just need to look at Nashville and Detroit and say, oh, wow, Detroit unders. Let's take a look. Guy like, what's his name? Perron today, right? Moves down the lineup, I think, right? He's on the top line. Okay. I think you find those and they're really good and I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I end up not getting there.
Part of the problem is it's largely selection bias in that the people who get posted tend to be the rate shooters for their teams. It's not very often that for Winnipeg, you'll see a Sam Gagner shot prop. So, it's sort of like you're taking the top quarter of shooters in the NHL and you're putting them on a list and then making us pick over or under. If you were putting the dregs of society on there, like Saku Manalainen, obviously the unders would become a lot more viable. But it does sort of, speak to overs only is a thing in, what DJ does and when I do too. But I think that's more of just the fact that you can't bet on everyone like you can in, say, the NFL, where every running back will have a prop basically. As far as that specific thing, with Ehlers, the under, the minutes are always a concern with him. So that's I think that's exhibit A for why you would press that in. But we didn't see lines yesterday in their practice, and we don't know if he's playing on the top 6 with Scheifele or Dubois. I just don't know that Ehlers is worth an under on, because he's been a little bit unlucky. He's still taking over 5 shot attempts per game. So there's nothing that I, would say, oh yeah, that's a really strong under bet, unless he's in the bottom 6, which we won't know for another half hour.
Yeah, I actually I tried because someone actually hit like DM. I think they DM me and they asked me like, have you considered looking at the other side a bit more? And I picked out 2 last slate, and they both just weren't listed. Like you're saying, I was gonna. It's funny because I think I don't know if it hit or not now. But they had Anton Lundell listed for a point some places, and in the game against Montreal, and I'm like, oh my God, he had 8 minutes last game. They just and I tried to find it, and it just wasn't listed, and then they went for 9. So I'm assuming he had a point. But yeah, so like even when you think you find something, the books just I think they get there pretty quick on getting rid of it. But yeah, Ehlers 5.2 attempts per game over the last 5, and we know he'll shoot in a large quantity. Is Dubois going to be in? Do we know?
No, we don't. That's what I led this off saying. But thank you for listening.
Right, no, I was listening, but you said like we didn't get lines, but like we don't. They didn't say that because sometimes their beat reporters are good. So I didn't know if one of them said like. We just don't know.
We don't know anything.
Yeah.
I don't think they ran lines yesterday at all. We didn't get them if they did, because all that was mentioned was Morrissey missed, but it was a maintenance day. So he should be good. Morrissey's shot prop, I think, is really good. I just saw his 1 +2 or +130 for 2.5. Yeah, he's been remarkably solid. So
I know.
Yeah, 6.6 shot attempts per game over the last 10. Like, holy hell.
Yeah, let's, I have a slip on my phone too, so I can tweet it easily, but let's put that there. Okay, that game's going to be gone in 2 minutes.
It's just started.
And where is the boy? There he is. Yep. Okay. Morrissey and Hartman. I mean, these are staples too of my slips. I feel like I circled through a lot of the same guys because, well, there's a reason why I picked them in the first place. And as we show here, this game does pace pretty well overall, but really weighted in the Winnipeg side of things. This is a huge game too. Let's not overlook the fact that this game could decide. It really could help decide the wild card spot. I mean, these are the 2 teams fighting for that last wild card spot right now. Not that it really matters, but make that point. Scheifele did see an unbelievable amount of minutes last game as well. Do you have any interest in his over 2, or just why are we doing that when Morrissey exists?
Yeah, he's an interesting case because he's always going to be like kind of featured on their power play, but at 5-on-5 he's almost non-existent as far as his shot rate. So Nashville does take a lot of penalties, but I don't know that it's strong enough to overcome sort of the relative lack of interest I have in taking shot props from Winnipeg normally. I just think Morrissey and Connor are so much stronger, even if their lines are a bit, higher to clear.
I think you could talk me into either. Okay. Anything on the Winnipeg or the Nashville side of things? Do you have just anything you want to say, or bad game environment, Yossi, whatever, and then move on? Or Nino revenge narrative goal? I mean, we didn't even say Nino revenge narrative goal yet.
Yeah, and Nino's a really, really big question, because if Dubois is back, I don't again, it's just there's so much uncertainty with Dubois in or out. I don't know what the power play looks like if do Nino and Dubois coexist on the top power play? I think they could, they did to start, but then I just don't know how it's going to play out, and I'm not really willing to put my neck out there one way or the other. So I think we can move on to the afternoon slate.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. You're not betting the game, right? You kind of made it seem. I mean, is there any interest in the over? That'd be the last question before we move on. I know it's not unreal,
no,
because it's really just because it's very goalie driven. I think they're kind of assuming, but we're getting Saros and Hellebuck, so 5.5.
Honestly, I would rather bet the over on Boston, Minnesota. They look pretty similar to me, fair. And I think I prefer that over.
I agree. Okay. Well, bonus available. What do I owe the pleasure? Edmonton and Seattle. Boy, I'm gonna assume first off that puck luck's gonna tell me the under. Not by much. It does like Seattle, and I think at the price it likes it a decent bit at home against Edmonton. I do think this is a game where, man, I feel like you're like you put this bet in your like a slip, and goaltending could just shatter your hopes and dreams. And I just hate adding that kind of variance to a larger portfolio of bets. So I don't think I'm going to have it myself. The under by plus 120 almost seems totally justifiable, but I don't know if I'm going to get there either. I'm already getting the McCann question. The guy's been just, I mean, shooting at a rate that, I mean, he was 2.5 on the last slate, and I know maybe he was 3. I can't remember now, but I mean, this guy's really, really decided I'm shooting every puck I possibly can. He hit in the first period last time. I might have some recency bias.
Dude, he looks like he has rockets in his
Just don't know if
skates.
Seattle's
Like,
going to get enough opportunity, but
like he's been so
he's
good.
come
I
on
don't know.
to just be he's been so good. It's bettable. I think it's bettable. I think, I'd rather just take him on the sports books than forcing him into a pick'em slip, but you can. I think it's fine. 27.5. I mean, what are we looking at? Yeah, not the best game environment overall for Seattle, but let's think about who. Yeah, it's fine. It's not adding expected value because of the price. So I don't know if I'm going to include it in too many slips, but maybe one. I don't think there's anyone else that I'm going to going for, especially like Bjorkstrand's arguably has to be worse. And also, I think he's the only guy I even consider.
Like, my main thought about this game is I don't know what the hell Edmonton has to do to earn some respect, but they've been playing lights out hockey pretty much since the minute they acquired Ekholm. Their underlines are stellar. McDavid is McDaviding. Like, they're not weak defensively at all. So I'm leery to go in on any sort of over on the Seattle side, be it points or shots. But you mentioned goaltending, and sure, like that's something you can say for every game though, and so I'm just not overly convinced by that argument. But I think that Edmonton will be without Zach Hyman again, so we can go right back to the Evander Kane well. It has not been fruitful, but it should. Like, he's clearly a guy who is in an elevated role because he's playing with McDavid and is on the top power play without Zach Hyman. He's a guy who shoots whenever he gets the chance. Whenever he gets a puck on his stick, he'll shoot. So yeah, it hasn't really been there the last few games, but I don't think that's any reason for concern. I have not seen anything that I got to get off of it now. I think you just go right back to the Evander Kane well, personally.
Yeah, McDavid got back down to 3.5, kind of surprised me at first, but then I pulled this up and he really hasn't been shooting nearly as much. 4 attempts per game over the last 5, 14 on net, granted. So like that kind of looks like he's been real close and just not quite getting there. He's definitely not hit, I believe, because he was 4.5 for a couple of those games, then back down. So he's come way back down to earth. I mean, you could argue regression, but you could also argue Evander Kane is just going to continue to go like Matt said, because he's playing with McDavid at 5-on-5. I'm very down with this minus 145. I think that's really, really strong as well. I almost do I prefer it to McCann is the question. You have on one hand the team that's shooting more with a guy that historically has shot much more, a good amount more than Evander Kane.
Yeah.
So like better game environment for them, better like everything on that side. But then on the other side you have the recent rates and McCann, like you said, rockets in his skate, shooting every puck. I like them both. It's just like which one do you want to pick? And I would. Why not?
Evander, he's been back for 4 games. Clearly there could be some lingering injury concern with that wrist injury he had. But it was a sliced wrist, so I don't think that's a big deal. And I think the most recent was actually a rib injury. It wasn't like a flare up of the wrist or anything. But if you're looking for either some confirmation or some hesitancy, he's only put 38% of his shots like on goal. Typically for forwards, that's closer to 60%. So if he gets 60% of his shot attempts on goal, he's clearing 3 pretty much every game over those 4 games. But also is he still hurt? I don't know. I think Evander's much stronger, but I like Jared McCann too. So who am I to say that you can't pick McCann if that's where your process is?
They literally that was that was the rival they gave us, and I put it up there and zoomed way in. It's funny. It's like these guys are
sharp,
just. I think a lot of people will just default to McCann too, and I just. Yeah, no, because that's the thing is I think people are going to be like, how is it not McCann here? The Evander Kane's had 3 shots in like 1 or 2 of his games in the past 10, and I think McCann had 9 last game. I'm trying to pull it up, but it's not loading. I believe it was 9 he finished with, because he had 7, and when I posted the slip that it hit, and then I looked back and I was like, holy crap, it's not going to load. I guess. Thank you, underdog. Am I completely frozen? What the hell's going on?
No, you're.
The other question we had was about Nugent Hopkins, which I missed. 8. Okay. I'm not betting Nugent Hopkins, by the way. Just I don't think it's necessary. I think what is his odds? Yeah, plus 155 actually makes it not EV positive anymore. It's got to be under the 140 mark. So I don't think it's necessary. Like the attempts, almost 5 per game is a thing, but I don't love it. I think I'd rather just these two are so much stronger than these might be 2 of my favorite bets on the entire board today. I'm going to straight bet both of them. I guess the question you at the end of the day you're asking is like, can you include both of them in a slip?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just like you're not really getting expected value. Like just bet them out. Just bet that money on the sports book where the expected value is better.
Yeah, I don't think McLeod or Hyman play, so he should go 11-7. And when they did that, he played a lot with Draisaitl, so like he's gonna get a lot of minutes. Nugent Hopkins will. I see it. Like I think he's much better in an 11-7 setup than in 12-6, where he's sort of buried in the bottom 6, trying to center the third line. But I think you're stretching it just a little bit. That's clearly a manufactured take on my part. It's not something I'm coming into the slate with like a really strong opinion on Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
No,
but that's the reason you would play it. It's because they go 11-7, and he gets to play in the top 6.
Yeah, and again, it just almost makes more sense on the sports book. Like adding, you can. I don't know, whatever. I don't think I'm adding either of them right now to a slip because, again, I could take that $50 or $25, just put it on them individually, and over here, and I think you're just getting a better bet. But I'll think about it. We can get over to the next game. I do love.
I think I agree with that. Also, I think I agree that the 2.5 plus money would be better than underdog, including that in a slip. So, all right. What is it?
Next game is
Carolina.
Carolina Philly.
Yeah. I don't.
First and foremost, we do have to say Owen Tippett is on a bender.
Yeah, he is. Why is this game at 5? Is today like Hockey Day in America or something? Because I have no clue what's like. I mean,
I have no idea.
Okay, let's see. What does tomorrow look like? Is Carol? No, because those 2 teams are back to back. Yeah, I have no idea. So yeah, whatever. So it's a weird situation in that both these teams are playing 22 hours after their most recent game. Those are back-to-backs tend to be sludge matches regardless. This one I think is a super sludge matchup, and you include that Carolina's involved, an ultra sludge matchup. I have no interest here personally. Like I am going to outright fade this in DFS. I could not imagine betting it over shots here. Like I understand that the Tippett's been good.
Yeah.
The value in Carolina that exists, like without Svechnikov, but just there's so many games today. I just have no interest here personally.
Yeah, it is. But someone, I think Touch of Green, it was you actually that said like his 3 seems good, and it's like, man, it does on paper. 9 attempts per game over the last 5, 3. It just seems like it's going to get there. But I pull up this matchup and just see how like little they should be able to produce offensively against Carolina, and it just feels like I'm adding variance for no reason. I think it's slightly EV positive with everything you're including, but I feel like you're going to be sitting there praying for a push when they're down by 2 goals and just praying Owen Tippett gets the puck on his stick for a chance. Because while he is shooting, like I don't know if we're not talking about McDavid here. We're talking about a guy that kind of relies on that power play to come together. Like I feel like he's relying on a lot of stuff to go his way to continue to get over 3. So I'm probably not going to include it myself. This is a spot you could look for an under, but they've really nerfed everyone.
Toronto is a really good hockey team. At 5-on-5, Carolina outshot them 72-36. Like, I mean, this is Philadelphia. They are god awful. We know this. I cannot see that any overs on Philly are worth the investment. But hey, you guys work hard for your money. I'm not here to tell you how to spend it.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm just looking at there's anyone on Philly that like clearly. I would say like D'Angelo too is probably the one I want the under on the most, and then I think revenge narrative. D'Angelo, how can I do this to myself? I'm going to sit here and Provorov. I mean, those two guys, but Provorov over 1.5. I just feel like you're playing a dangerous game. I think D'Angelo under might be very okay, but I don't know. I'm probably just
You need the puck to shoot, and teams against Carolina very rarely have the puck.
No one in the past 5 games, Teravainen has 1.6 attempts per game. It's a bad matchup, I guess, in theory, but again, only 2. It's just like, God, I don't know. I just, if it was 2.5, I'd click that under, I think, for sure today, but I just want to pull up Carolina really quickly because their game against Toronto, I really wasn't watching much of. And
the first line was really good. They didn't score because that's what happens on lines with Jesse Puljujarvi.
Mm-hmm.
And they all had 4 shots apiece. Teravainen remains on the top power play with. I think that changes at some point. I think Jarvis has to go back on the top unit, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm talking DFS here, but the Edmonton game is super enticing, and the New Jersey Florida game, like holy hell, like there's just 2 other games that are just far more interesting. So I think we should just ignore Philly Carolina outright and talk about the games that are actually like exciting.
Okay, yeah. Last note, I'm just gonna check it on FanDuel, but Puljujarvi last game was like I didn't put it in, and I was gonna put it in. I never ended up doing it. He didn't score, right? No, he was versus Toronto. He was plus like 4 something. So I'm just wondering what he is today against Philadelphia really quickly before we move all the way on.
Did you say Puljujarvi?
Puljujarvi is plus.
You're looking at him on the screen right now. Plus 220.
No, I'm pulling up FanDuel.
Oh, sorry.
He's much better on FanDuel.
Mike, what are you talking?
340 and
what the hell?
450, Matt. 450 on FanDuel.
Don't do it.
450.
Don't do it.
400 and the day score.
Jesse Puljujarvi
plus 450 to score.
To reach into my wallet, take out the cash, and just light it on fire. That is what he does. He skates around the ice. Like Jesse Puljujarvi is who I imagined I would be if I were somehow really good at hockey in the NHL. Like he knows where to go. He skates pretty well. He's kind of big and lanky. When he gets the puck on his stick, it might as well be a live grenade. It's hopeless. Oh, Colorado is playing right now. Okay, thank you. So sorry, Mike. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I was okay. Yeah. I was gonna say I tried to I said he scored, but you didn't seem to.
Yeah, I did not notice. Yeah, I was very confused. Okay.
Right. I think that's what I saw.
That is
a tweet about it actually. I don't even.
According to the early slate on DraftKings, he did score from
So Puljujarvi plus 450 on FanDuel. It just blows my mind that he's double the price. And like again, he's actually 350 and 450. So just scroll down. People are still amazed by the FanDuel discrepancies, and it's never going away. They don't care.
Well, no.
Okay, put that in right now.
FanDuel is doing it correct in that you can bet the under on a goal. You can bet no goal. On DraftKings, you can't. So any goal prop on DraftKings is just juiced out of commission because it's basically a futures board where there's 30 NFL teams and only one of them can win. So there's 100%, yet there's 150% equity on the board. Like, yeah, it's just a joke. So DraftKings, you should never bet a goal prop there. Unless unless there's something.
I agree. Yeah.
But
I agree
the shot
with what
props
you're saying.
are fine on DK.
Yeah, and there have been market arbitrages. Am I saying that word right? Arbitrages, arbitrage, right?
Arbitrage, but
that's say this word again.
Arbitrage. I don't know how you would get arbitrage with DK unless the DK line is way higher.
No, you can't. I'm FanDuel. I'm on FanDuel. Oh, that too, though. I guess.
Well, how are you getting arbitrage?
You could. That has happened too.
With one book. Okay.
Because they have two on FanDuel. They have two lines on FanDuel.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the point I was making, and you went in a different direction. But like,
okay. Yeah.
Puljujärvi plus 450. If you go to the anytime goal scorer, he's plus, what did I say? 340. So it's 110 points of difference. So if you bet is under, it's minus 700. So that doesn't work this time. But there have been guys that
really, really bad news for you. At the onset of this show, you said we'll try for 5 minutes per game. We are not even through the fifth game yet, and we are 50 minutes in. So, just saying.
Yeah, but the first 25. Okay.
Okay.
We fade this game. Good call. Devils are going down to Florida. Are you ready?
Yeah, this game seems pretty interesting. Palat and Timo flip-flop. So no more Hughes Timo at 5-on-5. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but I think that's really good for Hughes's shot prop playing with Bratt and Palat. I don't know if Timo in the bottom six is really worth a look, but I guess that depends on how you feel about this run that Eric Howell has been on, where he's actually been quite productive for the Devils. So I don't know, like a guy who's on pace to score like 50 points in Howell. Like, yeah, clearly that's not a bad third line center, but I don't really like it personally. So I think it's mostly Hughes on the New Jersey side. How about you?
Yeah. I think one thing that's almost getting overshadowed is because lately Florida has every single player has been just nuking, and their recent games have not been against very difficult teams. So I think a lot of people are just early on talking themselves into some of these lines because they feel really, really good on paper. But I agree. I think Jack Hughes over 3.5 minus 125 is going to end up being my favorite bet here because of everything you already said. I don't think I need to repeat it. I was listening very clearly and focused the whole time. I wasn't even looking at my phone. No one could see that on screen. Yeah, Bratt over 2 and Barkov over 3. I'm not doing Barkov. I don't want to. I'm heading in Barkov instead of Florida now. My brain is really, really good. What is he? Yeah, no, minus 145. I just don't get it. Like, I don't see why
Montour is much better in my opinion. Montour survived. He was minus 135 on DK. Look at DK.
I know, but he's a 3 on underdog. No, I know. I saw it. I know. I'm on DK now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So minus 135 there, I think is really solid. He survived the power play reshuffle. Ekblad got moved off. And I noticed last game, I don't know how much this survives, but the Tkachuk stays on the ice for the second power play. Montour stayed out for the second half of the power play, like almost every shift too. So, I don't know if that necessarily holds, but I saw Montour on the ice a lot with that second unit with Tkachuk. So it's kind of just like there's multiple ways to get there, but I just think that line is far too low for a guy that's at like 71 shot attempts over the last 10 games.
Yeah. For Hagee still on that top unit, of course, as I already mentioned, their only power play goal went to Ekblad, who didn't get a ton of runs. So, of course, they were also up by about infinite goals. So, whatever at that point. Am I going to go back to Verhaeghe power play point? You sure bet I am. Plus 320. I'm going back to
that's
for
good.
Sure.
It didn't hit though, right?
No, like I didn't scored from the shot.
Yeah, I know. Just the most incredible game. Like 9 goals. Like just everyone. No power play point for the guy who's like the best power play bet on the board.
Yeah, and had just like 100 shots. Just rats foiled again. Point bets. It's a 7 over under, and Verhage is minus 155. Like, you could throw that in. He was playing with the Chuck and Bennett at 5-on-5 and on the first power play. Like, I think you're fine there.
Yep.
And then Montour shots. Yeah, Montour shots. So the problem that you do have is Jack Hughes versus Montour. Like, which one are you going with? Are you staking your name to one of these boys?
I think I would prefer the Montour, but I'm not going to say either are bad. I think those are clearly the two best shot props here. So,
okay, I'll keep them both in the slip for now. I'll take out. Actually, let me just pull this up really quickly. I pulled it I got it all the way loaded, and I never looked. Yeah, Verhage shooting a ton. I mean, Jack Hughes is shooting a ton. Like, it's amazing that he's been playing with Timo and both of them almost 7 attempts per game playing together. Now they're not. So, I mean, you could really talk me into either, but I believe Hughes is just a better, not by much, but a better line. I think I just stick with Hughes overall there. And then Montour, as you said, the shot numbers have been really high on the year over the last 10, 5.2 over the last 5. Same as Barkov. I just don't know if I'm betting Barkov at 3. I think I'd much prefer going back to Ultimate Pain and clicking on Jack Hughes, who I assume is 3.5, and he has put him in the slip. Timo also. Ooh, boy. Don't do it to yourself. Jack Hughes over Timo. I mean, the same thing over here, though. I know you have a preference there. Like, price the same on underdog in theory.
Hughes is just better than Timo, especially now that we're expecting Timo to get fewer minutes in the bottom 6. So
perfect. Wait, bottom 6? I thought he's not with Heishier?
No. He's with Howla and Boakfist.
I did retweet them. So
Heishier's still with Mercer and
wow. Yeah, no. Yeah, and then Bratt was the other guy that was mentioned. I mean, I think an underdog at 2, it's fine, but he's just not shooting enough for me to want to actually click on it. 4.4 attempts per game. It might go up without Timo on that line. Like, I see that as like a positive regression candidate, but I just think Jack Hughes is a better bet overall. So we move forward. I think just at about the 5-minute mark. I nailed it this time. Didn't time myself.
You're on the main slate. So what minute mark are we at?
I don't know.
52 minutes. 52. All right, people. 52 minutes in. Here we go. Main slate talk. Because when I tweet this later, I'll say, hey, you can skip all the nonsense for the early slate that you no longer need. But yeah, main slate.
Don't skip the nonsense. Listen to it. We had fun.
That is true. You are not.
Okay, we'll get that. We'll get that loaded in a minute. So yeah, it starts with Toronto, Ottawa. Ottawa's dead, I think, officially. Toronto's been really good. Austin Matthews is back to being Austin Matthews, which we do love to see, but long ago are the days of his 3.5 shot prop total. Miss them. Rest in peace. They were fun while they lasted. As far as betting this game on paper, hold on, I should probably pull that up first. What are the odds we're looking at here? Man, Toronto minus 135 on a back-to-back. Does that ever feel like something I want to click on and I'll hate myself later? Let's look at the game projection over on puckluck.com. Boy, they have it at a pick'em. Is Ottawa good? Am I just wrong?
I mean, Ottawa's Ottawa. They can't score. Like they are who we thought they were. And,
they have Ben Sogard in net, and they can't score.
Yeah, that's basically their rub. They've also, I don't know. I feel like they've been a little bit power play dependent recently too. Like, it's not even like their 5-on-5 has been that strong. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the under in this game if we're talking like bets overall. Like I don't know that. Yeah, 6.5. Like, probably one of the higher lines on the main slate. That might be okay. But
yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I honestly, I think the thing I'm going to click on is William Nylander over 3.5 myself. But wasn't Bunting back in the top 6?
They've been going 11-7, so I don't think he started there, but he could have worked his way around.
Bunting, Tavares, Nylander. Bunting not on the top power play. He got 16 minutes of 5-on-5. He's a 1.5. It just seems.
Oh, Achari got hurt last game too, so yeah, that all the minutes are going to be pretty inflated there, and that could be why. They just went with 3 lines, and Bunting won it over Kerfoot. I don't know if that sticks though. I'll be honest. We'll see though.
Where is he?
Okay, for the people, it looks like Dubois is playing for Winnipeg. So your 2 o'clock start, he's going to be in.
Man.
Yeah. Matt Murray.
Yeah, that Bunting 1.5. It's just like
good luck. Hey, GA, goalies don't matter.
That's a good point.
Especially revenge goalies. Especially revenge goalies. Never underestimate the pettiness of a goalie. So
yes. It's and like that's the thing, honestly, that I just don't think I can click on though is clicking on that under and then realizing Matt Sogard and Matt Murray need to make saves. It's just like a painful endeavor. And I hate goalies and they don't matter. And I want to click on it, but I'm just not. This Bunting price is just speaking to me. And I know it's probably going to hit because it's speaking to me so much. -130. He's in the top 6 again, but he has not been shooting. But then again, he hasn't been playing. So it's like, man, yeah, I don't know. Are we just moving on?
Yeah, it's really expensive all around. Shot props, DFS. I just don't think there's enough here to warrant too much consideration.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to keep Nylander in for now. If Bunting's in the top 6, I think it's like at least worth a second glance, but I don't know, whatever. It's priced correctly to fit in on underdog, and I don't know how you do it. He's barely shooting enough if both shots get on net to get there.
They're going to go 11-7, so even if a guy starts in the top 6, Bunting's not a primary guy, so I worry about their minutes, pretty heavily. Ridley Gregg centering the second line to Brinkett Giroux. That's 2,600 DFS, maybe a guy who you could punt with, but not anything I'm going to do myself. All right.
Yeah, this is tough.
Please.
This is just not fun. 5-minute mark. We move on. I'll keep Nylander in there for now. Next game is Montreal Tampa. Nothing better. Montreal.
Wait, if Hull and Simmons are in, who else draws in for Toronto then? Because they still need a guy to replace Achari in that case.
With Simmons, I don't know. Hull was out.
Oh, Giordano scratched. Okay. Bobby McMahon. Okay, there we go. Yep, there. Okay, so yeah, Giordano, Gustafsson out, McMahon, Wayne Simmons in. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's
we've reached the Wayne Simmons conversation, so let's get over to Montreal.
Well, you just got to make sure Bunting's on in the second line. I just don't think that happens personally, so I would not be considering it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you have to confirm it before you bet it. I agree. Let's move over. Montreal Tampa. As I was starting, Montreal has been pretty bad. I'd say very, very bad. And not only have they been bad, but their goaltending is letting in touchdowns. Not good. They should give up a lot of goals. They should give up a lot of shots. I think betting on their goaltending regressing back to a mean is much more likely. So I'm going to be looking at shot props myself. Points, Kucherov, Stamkos, the guys. Let's see what the pricing is. 3.5 on Kuch, 2 for Point. I mean, he has had 1 shot on goal in his past 3. You don't love that number at all. But he was shooting a ton. I don't know what the hell happened there. Why did Point stop shooting? Is it because he's bad?
It's because he's entirely dependent on another player to set him up for shots, and just he's not a guy who's gonna make shots on his own. So I don't, that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, I think Kucherov is totally fine just on the sports books. Including him in at 3.5 feels a little tentative to me. Hagel was back on that line with Kucherov. He's sort of getting back to form at 2, but I don't know. Again, it's like Kucherov's so integral for this team. Hedman's been shooting a lot. He's 2.5 as well.
Like a couple weird things in this game. One, it's like the Lecavalier, Marty St. Louis like retirement or something like that, like their Hall of Fame or something. So we might not get warm-ups. Don't think that matters too much. But Jonathan Drouin is playing, but it sounds like he might be like not actually playing. Like he'll be dressed but not playing. He missed a team meeting yesterday. They don't have anyone if they scratched him who could replace him in the lineup, so they have to roster him. But he got moved down to the fourth line. I don't think he plays, so I think Montreal plays 11-6 tonight. Not that there's too many names that stand out because Kuryanov is being centered by Chris Tierney now with Drouin not playing, and Dvorak out for the year. But like, there's some intrigue and just like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of minutes to go around as a result of that. So that's prepping to face the Lightning on never mind. Okay. On Sunday morning. I'm like, wait, do they think the game's at 7 a.m.? Anyway, the Tampa side here, they're all good. I don't know if like Kucherov is what makes it go. If Kucherov feels like passing today, he's gonna pass. If he feels like shooting, he's gonna shoot. Someone talked to me Kucherov. I haven't, so I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't call me today. Honestly, someone mentioned Sergachev. That doesn't feel terrible at 2. He's a -190 to get over 1.5. He's been shooting. He's on the top power play, 28 minutes. He's just going to continue to see that kind of run, especially in important games when it's close. So if you're at all thinking like, man, Montreal isn't a train wreck, Sergachev has seen some pretty good run. And the shot numbers are not terrible. I mean, 5.6 per game over the last 5. Let's go to the last 10 just to be.
I think
double check it. That actually feels pretty solid. 5.5. Like he's definitely shooting enough for that 2 to feel pretty good. I might actually just click on that.
I like that.
Yeah, that feels solid. I mean, ultra safe on the sports book, but at the same token, it's like -190. I don't know. We'll include it for now. It's fun.
I think that's better value than a 2 on underdog, right? Because it's like 225.
It's like on the line
on underdog. So I could be wrong, but I
think it's it's anything. I think it's -195 and better is value.
Okay,
I'm almost positive on that for 1.5s.
You probably looked at it more recently.
It's like right on the line.
All right.
It's 185. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's the best.
Okay. Here. Yeah, nothing.
Ton of upside for all these Tampa pieces, but I'm not sure that like their 50th percentile is like, oh yeah, clearly there's a better bet on the board in terms of shots than Sergachev, even though like Sergachev is clearly the low T option where there's just not a ton of upside in him hitting because it's -190, but I don't think anything else clears that. Maybe Nick Suzuki -155 for 2 shots or 1.5. Like that's a little nutso with no centers. But whatever.
Yeah, no, I think the main thing here is like Tampa should have 2 or 3, maybe 4 guys on the board that hit. So do you want to play it safe in a bigger slip, or do you want to go with a guy like Kucherov, who's definitely shooting enough? I don't think I'm going anywhere else myself. Suzuki shooting enough to feel okay about, especially with the role he has, but not an insane amount. I'll stick with Sergachev, and let's move on to Pittsburgh and the Rangers. It feels like Pittsburgh and the Rangers.
It's the third time they've played in less than a week. It's the third time they've played in less than a week. Pittsburgh checking out as one of the top teams on the main slate by like expected goals and by actual goals. and I don't think they get much ownership, despite there being a relative lack of like supreme options. Toronto and Tampa, I think, clearly have their warts, and they're in far better spots. They're going to have much better ownership, but I think that Pittsburgh should not be overlooked here. They mostly build out through Jake Gensel, so he's the main guy I'm like targeting if I was looking at shots and whatnot. Again, Sid continues to put up very quality numbers as well. But between the two, they have 13 shot attempts per game over the last 10. Like, just insanely good stuff out of these two guys. That they're glued together. I think if you're building a slip, play them with one another. I don't think that's a terrible idea. As even though they technically steal shots from one another, I do think that the game environment will play a larger role in their success than like the downside of them, only getting 6 shots and it going 4-2 or something. I think you're just better off correlating those two in shot props, given how highly correlated they are as players.
Yeah, I'm down to include Gensel in a slip, but I'm going to put him in at over 3.5. He's shooting definitely enough. This matchup doesn't really scare me. Shesterkin's in net. Hopefully he makes good saves and they just keep shooting. And we're riding very easily on Jake Gensel, who's been absolutely smashing as of late. And the price does not reflect that. I've been really high on him. He's burned me once recently, but you know what? Just because he burned me once doesn't mean he's going to burn me again. Don't think you're wrong to go with Crosby over 2.5. I think the price is really good at -135. So those are definitely what you're debating between. Is Crosby going to get 3? Is Gensel going to get 4? Then, I mean, just like on the pick-em board, I feel like you could go with either, but Gensel's a much better expected value add to I would just
if you want to pick
with your on Crosby.
Gensel on underdog and Sid on DK makes a ton of sense. But I like them both on underdog too. So I guess there's that's where I am. On the Rangers, it's really the same problem that if you listen to the Wednesday podcast, last time the Rangers were on a slate, we talked about, hey, their minutes are just not there. In last game, we saw their highest used skater at 18 minutes. We saw Adam Fox get 21 minutes. Highest used forward get 18 minutes. I just don't trust any of these guys enough to the point where I would prefer to slide them in an individual basis, like in terms of a shot prop or like anything else. Thoughts on Jason Zucker? I don't know. Gino's really good, and that line plays like him and Gino are really good combination. I'm just not sure that this is the greatest pace environment for like the second line. I much prefer Pittsburgh second line against the bad teams on the board. Like, I don't know, Montreal, Anaheim, those types of teams. Because I do think when the game gets tight and they're trailing and whatnot, it's competitive. I don't think they roll the lines quite as often. You'll see some Raquel mixing in. That just worries me a little bit with Zucker not being like one of their main offensive pieces, but just my thoughts there.
Yeah. I
mean, what if they've played twice? And hold on, they've played twice in the last whatever. Okay, he has 4 shots and 8 shots against the Rangers. So if you're gonna use that, then go for it. I totally get why hit that line looks appealing. But just thinking through things from a
everyone
more
loves
process oriented.
He's been What is he again? He's 2.5. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Do it. He's been shooting a ton. I think that's fine too. Whatever. I think I'm sticking with Gensel and underdog myself, but they're both really probably the main two I'd include. And then Crosby over on DraftKings is really good. Moving on. Anything Rangers that
please.
You like for betting, or just let's move on? Perfect. Good. I don't either.
Minutes suck.
We have minutes suck. Dallas and the Flames. The Flames got off the schneid, if you will, after being absolutely atrocious. They finally had that game I've been waiting for against Vegas, where it's like the puck's going to find the back of the net because they're shooting a ton, and it did. Not
Counterpoint.
sure.
They scored all of their goals. They scored all their goals for the month in Vegas, and I don't know.
It's over. It's for now.
Yeah.
They add Mangiapane to that line with Lindholm, and I really wish they didn't do that because I was so high on Lindholm shot prop, and then I see they made that change, and I was like, welp. I believe there are now 2 rate shooters with Lindholm, and Lindholm had 5 goals while he was on the ice, and he had 1 shot on net. Rest in peace, Elias Lindholm shot prop. You will be heavily missed. Are you considering looking a little bit more at Mangiapane in this game, playing with Lindholm as like a guy that you target? Power play, he was on one of the 2, and they scored. So, he didn't score, but it was out there. Like, is Mangiapane a guy you're looking at, or what's up?
So, I mean, I guess I was framing my arguments based on the DFS pricing, and I think it's just way too high for how good both these defenses are. And looking at the shot props and whatnot, I guess there might be some value in these guys because it does look like that's been priced in to these sports books. I don't know, to their model or however they're pricing it. Seems like a lot of low numbers on the board. I think I would prefer to go to Dallas side myself. I just feel more confident in the Pavelski, Hintz, Robertson line than I do trying to pick between like the honestly 3 useful lines in Calgary. So, I guess if you told me Hintz and Pavelski are over 2, like Touch of Green is saying, give me Rupe, but it's really close between the 2. I don't think you're wrong in picking either of those 2 numbers. They're like identical.
We're running out of time on this slip here, so I'm gonna
still
keep Morrissey. What you think, Morrissey or Hintz?
I think Morrissey is better than Hintz.
All right.
If it's up to me, I'm not touching this game at all. I don't love the environment.
Live stream slip.
Wow. What
I don't think that's going to post correctly. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, I want to get it out there for the people. I realize we have 13 minutes left. And then we can get back to just add Rupe Hintz over here for now. Pulled up the game while you were talking for the shot numbers, like just, in a vacuum, like you're saying, like, this is 10. This game, is it better than maybe I'm thinking? Why do I think this is going to be slower? I didn't really look, though.
It's not great. I mean, the defense is just really good. I don't.
Robertson 2.5. Man, Robertson 2.5.
Minus 175. It might as well be 3.5. I don't know.
I know, right? Like, what are we? That's a good point. Just didn't expect to see that. Toffoli's been shooting a lot. Boy, this is tough. Don't include one for now. Move on. Is that what we're thinking?
Let's keep moving. Your boy's hungry. Right. You told me you had somewhere to be at too, so I thought we would be done by now, or else I would have eaten before.
That is true. That is true. We have 3 games left. Let's keep moving. We'll get up. I want to get a couple slips out there before too as well. That was another reason. So Vancouver, LA. LA's been good. Minus 190 seems really, really high. I haven't really been talking about the money lines enough. Yeah, that seems egregiously high. Puckluck agrees that Vancouver might be fine here. I've been going back to the point props for LA. I've been waiting and I'm looking again. Do we have him? No, we do not have QB. No Quentin Byfield once again because the books hate us. They don't want us to win money. I've been waiting for him at plus money to appear. It is not. I think they'll have shots. Vancouver is, I just think maybe a bit underrated still. I think I've talked about that a few times, and I'm pretty sure last game they lost Arizona to prove me completely wrong. But I do think that they're being a bit underrated overall, especially with the top end talent that they have. I know the last bet I had was a Kuzmenko point. He decided to score, and then their lines went into a blender as they were getting crushed. Very integral in the power play. So I love him a lot. Over on the LA side, Victor Arvidsson, my hero, my knight in shining armor, coming through for all of us who bet his shot prop by just deciding in the third period he was not done shooting, just continuing to fire the puck on net. He's a hero, the hero what is the Batman quote? Not the hero we deserved, the hero we needed, something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Minus 120 seems fine still for the 3.5, but I don't know if you have to. I feel like you've seen Batman, right? Have you seen Batman?
No.
Good question. Okay.
That is almost insulting.
One game we just need to play.
Batman. What?
You've never seen The Dark Knight Rises? Like, it just blows me away.
No. Wait, isn't there just The Dark Knight, or is it The Dark Knight Rises?
I don't know. No.
Are there two Dark
There's
Knight?
3 of them, and one of them had the Joker.
Okay. I thought they all had the Joker.
He is
honestly,
the Dark Knight.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
Okay. Look, Vancouver is really taking on the shape of Rick Tocchet. Over the last 10, they're below the league average in terms of both expected goals for and against. With they're actually seeming to run into some semblance of goaltending, and they still can't score. So I don't know
under
that
6.5.
Yeah. That's certainly a really.
That seems really good. I didn't even think about it. That seems really, really good. That seems like the bet.
And I don't think we get Fiala back. We had a 15-minute long practice yesterday, so we really didn't get much information out of it. But we did see this morning Durzi on the ice in a red jersey. No acknowledgement yet of Fiala, but I think that means both those guys remain out. So, I think the under. I don't know that there's any shot props here that I really want because I think LA sort of runs this game, but I don't think they want to make it a high tempo game whatsoever. So, I would much prefer.
It's always been the under. The price on this is just because Vancouver hit so many overs before Tocchet got there that the price isn't coming down. Puck Luck agrees very wholeheartedly that it should be under 6. So I think that minus 110 price is very, very, very good. Arvidsson's fine. I think it's only I don't think 3.5 is too much. He's shooting enough to bet that's fine. I don't know if I'm including a ton of it, but 8 shots per game is still really good. I'm fine with it. I just don't know if I have. No one's holding a gun to your head and making you do it. So do whatever you want.
Yeah, Vancouver has played 8 games in the month of March, and they've yet to allow more than 3 goals. So I don't think that Vancouver wins this 5-3 or anything. So I'm pretty confident in that under. Looking at this board, I don't think I would touch Arvidsson at 3.5. I'll be honest.
I don't think you have to, but I think it's you could do it, but you don't have to.
That's the strongest one I think that I see, but not something I would include.
Wait, who? You got out.
Arvidsson.
Who?
Arvidsson.
Yeah, okay, agreed.
But
so 2 more games, Chicago, Arizona, 6 minutes. This game, this is the Bedard sweepstakes. These teams are bad, very bad. I just look at Barrett Hayton and Clayton Keller over 2.5 at very, very close to the coin flip type odds and say, man, these are really good hockey players. Yeah. Do I just take one of them because they are their offense? That is the offense for Arizona. I think I do it myself. Let me just pull up who's shooting. I don't even think I looked too deep into this. Hayton or Keller, Matt?
Do you really need to? I think Barrett Hayton, but Keller's the distributor, and Hayton I think is more of the mucker. So I think he'll wind up getting more shots in the aggregate. And let's just go Hayton.
Looking at the raw numbers for the past. Is it just my internet being? Yeah, I think it's my internet. I'm going Hayton myself too. I'm going to include him in the slip, which we have very little time on to get in before it closes. Yeah, just screw the Blackhawks all around. I have no interest in clicking on any of these jamokes, if you will, these rascallions. Just no, thank you. Those are the words I'm using to describe them now because I just don't like Chicago. They're very bad, and I think people might look at Radish because that 1.5 minus 150 feels fine. I just they're so bad that it just makes me think, why am I doing this? Actually, of a player that I was watching, this Kesselering, he's got like minimum salary. Have you any interest in him in DFS?
I'll be honest, I have not done a deep dive into Kesselring. I've noticed him
shooting a
but
ton.
Yeah, just he's already 3K. I don't know.
Yeah, he went up 500.
If you're in the MSP Discord and you want to talk about it, get in there. But otherwise, I don't plan on doing a deep dive into whatever his name is. So long as there's values elsewhere on Arizona, like Barrett or like UC Valimaki, still really cheap at 4,500 for what he's been doing. So yeah, just.
All right, last game of the night
in Chicago.
4 minutes.
Chicago's
left.
A joke, so yeah, just ignore it.
Go to the last. I gotta be a little slower. I'm clicking too fast. There it is. The Islanders play the Sharks. It seems like a battle that was in the movie Jaws, if you will. Although, yeah, Martha's Vineyard. The Islanders versus the Sharks. Perfect. The Jaws matchup. You're welcome. Tweet it out there. It's a good joke. Matt, have you seen Jaws?
I actually have. I watched it on a plane once.
Ooh. There we go, everybody. Matt has seen a real movie. This is great. So, the Jaws matchup, as I'm calling it. On paper, I believe the answer is going to be Islanders for what we're mainly looking at for shot props, etc. What are we looking at as far as players that are shooting the puck at the goal for both these teams? Now, I'll tell you this first and foremost, that I feel like it's been very underappreciated just how good Matt Barzal was for this Islanders team now that he's not there. And I really do think that having Barzal on the line with any of these players increases their volume by a good margin because he's one of the best. Him and Panarin are at that level of setting up other players to have shots that get on goal. It's crazy. With everything I just said, the sports book, the shots, the
sports book, the shots.
Is he 2.5 on Underdog?
They're all just so slow.
He's 3. Are you
the Islanders really are bad. You're right.
Yeah, no, this is okay. Why can't I click on it? This is the Islanders' problem is they have one really fast, good player, and he's not with them right now. And it's just watching them play is paint dry. Why is Horvat not 2.5 Underdog? I'm gonna cry. All right, so Noah Dobson it is.
Or just don't.
Matt,
don't. The one thing that San Jose has been able to do is they've been able to outshoot teams pretty consistently. Not so much lately, but they're at least, I think, competent. I don't think Dobson's a good bet at all. He's not been very strong as of late. Yeah.
All right, so I'm trying to just get this put together really quickly. Any other things on this game in general? I think
Hurdle.
I think I'm thinking
Hurdle Couture.
That's a good price.
I said this in the Discord the other day, and I'm going to continue through with it. I think Hurdle and Couture together is a great DFS approach. They're just so good, and they're actually surrounded by guys now who are deferring to them as far as Eklund, Barabanov, and they've been playing really well. The Islanders are atrocious. Couture, Hurdle really do look good by anything I've looked at. So I don't know if that makes its way to shot props. It probably does, and I probably slightly prefer Logan Couture in that arena. But both guys, I think they're excellent options.
Sorry, I'm trying to get a bet in before it locks. I got it. I've done it.
Congrats. We've all aged several years during this show.
I don't think the Hartman thing's going to stay. So I tried to get a bet in before I could include Horvat. So I'm going to try to still include Horvat. Now Hartman is now closed. Tough break, but not on underdog. So let's build one more slip and get out of here. Let's keep Barrett Hayton. Let's get rid of Rube Hintz. Let's keep Dobson. Get rid of Dobson. Okay. Yeah. What about Couture and Hurdle? Are you including one of them in a slip today?
Couture. Let's do Couture.
Couture.
I think you could do both. Couture. Do we have a goalie? Do we have an Islanders goalie here?
No.
Because
no.
If his number is pretty low, if it's like
late night.
Yeah, if it's like 25, 26, like I think it could get posted that low. Just grab like Couture Hurdle against that. I think that's pretty solid. I don't know what you're looking at, but
sorry, I'm 5571. I'm just sending. There it is. Okay, so I just sent over the $200 to our winner. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
So Peyton, Couture are two we really like in the late. Matt, I'm going to let you pick here Penguins. So we keeping Gensel again?
Gensel, yeah, Gensel. I mean, again, I don't know what you included, but I like Gensel.
I included. Wait, did I include him? I don't even know if I included him last time.
I don't know.
Sergachev again?
That's you. Yep, Sergachev. That's solid. Although I guess I kind of prefer that on the sportsbook too, but I don't know. Again, when I do underdog, I just try and get max correlation. Like I'm not sitting here trying to pick like 5 like parlays, honestly. So that, this is not really my arena. Like I guess I understand like good value in -122 and whatnot. But I really do think that playing underdog pick'ems optimally is by like loading up, 4 players against a goalie type thing. The correlation I think is way stronger than anything, even DJ on a heater. I just think that there's far more reason to do it my way than like just treat it like a parlay. Although both can be profitable, like for sure.
Right.
Anyway,
Hughes or Hartman? We have 2 minutes. Hughes or Hartman?
Hughes.
Okay. All right. Final one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this on my phone because then I can tweet it correctly. Because whenever I tweet it here, it doesn't like it.
All right. Rooney confirmed he got the money.
Yes. The
goal is that you tweet a nice little picture for whatever game you wind up with. Mm-hmm. It's a great time of year to check out a game. Even the AHL. I know their playoffs are going to start soon. I don't know the Massachusetts.
Go Amherst. Am I right, Matt?
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of stuff going on.
What are you talking about?
Again, I don't know the geography well enough to know like whether he's near there or not.
I don't know.
I think he said Central Mass, but
yeah,
it's everything's just it's got to be close, right? Like being from Rochester, went to school in New York City. Where are you from? New York. Which borough? No, like, and then not knowing that I'm 6 hours away from home at school. So that's just how I imagine Massachusetts is, though. Like everyone's 15 minutes away from every city.
Okay. All right. So final slip for now. Once we get more goalies, maybe I'll do 1 or 2 more. You want to eat. So yeah, I'll post I missed the Hartman thing already. So what can we do on that? Didn't get that posted in time. I also took out, what's his stupid name? Morrissey from the sportsbook one, because I just wasn't including that in a 7-leg parlay. Plus 140 just seemed a little crazy. So Matt, any last bits of parting wisdom for this slate? DFS wise, I think honestly the best thing that you said the whole time was right at the end with San Jose. I think that they're really, really, really sneaky on this slate. No one's going to go to them. I think it's correct. As far as money lines, everything we said before, I think that this under in this Canucks Kings game is just vastly not vastly, but it's priced incorrectly. Goaltending can kill you or make you, but no over speaks to me too much. I love this Devils Panthers game, but it's a 7, which does make me feel a little bit woozy. And I posted a ton of shot props. I'm going to post the rest of the sportsbook props now, and we'll get on out of here.
Bless up. All right. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to share. I think I've said everything I think about all 13 of these games here. So looking forward to settling in and watching it. So thanks everyone who tuned in and participated in the chat. Yeah,
yep. And then that's playoff best ball. Yes. Playoff best ball. And yes, I think he mentioned at the beginning, like, this is the moods in the thing. Yeah, Matt is out there. He's playing.
I don't have it in me to grind quite as hard as DJ, but no, I don't think so.
Getting over the old 60 mark right now. I don't know why.
It's sickening. All right,
I'm getting
to get out of here.
150 again.
I understand that.
All right, Matt, close us out. Close us out with your normal stuff.
I am at Fake Moods on Twitter. I don't know that our little things show up. They used to. I don't know, in our little windows here. But DJ's at DJ_Mitchell94. If you somehow found this without following him already. And we do the Morning Skate podcast, where we talk mostly Tuesdays and Thursdays about the upcoming DFS slates. We will also be covering the playoffs, when we get around to that. So be sure to follow us at Morning Skate Pod and subscribe to our podcast feed. It's on Stitcher and iTunes. Or iTunes, Apple Podcasts. I don't know. Are those the same thing? I don't know. We're not a music. We're not a music channel. Anyway, so from Doug, from DJ, from myself, have a slate, everybody, and we will see ya.
Music playing? No.